This is my studio pedal board I've had for a while, and actually it's only been a few weeks since I reassembled this iteration of it. However, doing that assembly highlighted some of the issues I've had with this board, one of them being that it's too small. So the obvious thing to do is to build a bigger one. Honestly though, the biggest reason for building a bigger board is that this board is designed purely for electric guitar, and it also doesn't really work with an acoustic guitar, especially if I want to add some effects on it, or if I'm going to record bass, or if I want to have cabinet simulation, or if I'm reamping. I don't have anything in place and I always have to do custom wiring to make that happen, and it takes a lot of time from the actual work. And sometimes I want to have this splitter box at hand as well, and maybe have this fuzz on the board, and maybe even this foot switch for some expression control. As you can see, I have a lot of cables, velcro and other pedal board building stuff ready to go. But the first thing to do is to dismantle the old board and figure out how to attach the power supply underneath the new board. The new pedal board is made by Temple Audio, and this is in no way sponsored by them. I bought this with my own money because it seemed exactly the kind of board I wanted to have. It's incredibly lightweight and has great options for cable routing, which hopefully will result in a very neat looking board. What I'm trying to figure out right now is where to place the power supply, which by the way is the Chox DC7 I've had for a while now. One option is to place it on the board itself, but it will take space from the pedals, especially with all the cables coming from the power supply. I noticed that the logo on the board is detachable, and I wanted to see if by removing it I could run my power cable through that hole to the power supply. It would allow me to place the power supply roughly here and run the power cable through there. The logo thing didn't go as planned because, as you can see, that kind of cutout is actually part of the chassis, and it's something I don't want to cut out right now. Luckily there's other ways to run the power cable here from the side, for example. I proceed to attaching the power supply to the middle rail with some velcro. Also notice my hot socks. The power cable is now attachable, so I take off the side lid next. Look at this beautiful power cable run. The next thing to do is to start figuring out where all the pedals should go. This is both a lot of fun and also intensive because I need to try to take into account every single possible use case I might have for this board. Okay, so here's how I think the pedal board will look like. Let me explain the signal chain, and explaining the signal chain will actually also help you to understand the whole electric acoustic bass recording thing. First of all, there's an MXR split box, and this is where I'll usually plug in. It allows me to split the signal so I can both record a sound through my pedal board but also record DI signal of my guitar. The split box actually kind of has 3 outputs on it with the through output, so I think I'll use that one for the tuner. So anytime I plug anything into the input of the split box, I immediately have this Peterson Strobo Stomp HD available. Then I also have the Omag Teleport here, which is basically a small pedal-sized audio interface that I use for reamping a lot. It also allows me to run just a USB cable from my computer into the teleport and basically select it as an output on my DAW and just use the output on the teleport to run the signal through my board. That helps to keep everything more simple. Then there's the NUX preamp, and I need to think a bit on how to integrate this into the signal chain because I do sometimes use my guitar pedals with my bass and I need to think on how to wire this. There's also a through out on the unit, so I'll see what will work best. I don't see any of this as an issue though, since it's fast and easy to run a cable from the split box, for example, to wire everything up. I'm pretty sure I'll be doing some minor tweaks here and there once I've done few recording sessions with this board, because it's just really difficult to try to predict every single use case I might have in the future. After that, I feel it's a pretty standard guitar recording signal chain, so KMA Fuzzly, KMA Strokur, NUX Steel Singer, Caline Pure Sky OG, KMA Logan, Rev G3, Orange Compressor, KMA Astrospur Phase, KMS Sirius. Then there's the 2-note Scab M that I might use both for using IRs on an acoustic guitar for example, or use the built-in preamp and record with just the pedal board itself. I really like the fact that there's a lot of space and it's easy to rewire anything if needed. No matter what I'm about to record, everything is here and ready to go, and it's going to be such a time saver in the future. Also, you might have noticed I had the Zoom 505 in the pedal pile, but I decided to leave it out because I feel it introduces quite a lot of noise in the signal chain. I also very rarely use this Boss switch, so I decided to leave it out as well and keep this board nice and tidy. Next, I attached all of the pedals to the board with Velcro because I'm pretty sure I'll be taking out some of them every now and then, and they don't need to stay in place that firmly that I would use dual lock for example. Velcro is more than fine in this case, and as long as the pedals don't move when I move the pedal board itself, I'll be happy. And now that the pedals are in place, I started wiring the power cables. The power supply has 7 outputs that all output 660 milliamps at 9 volts. As you have probably counted already, there's more than 7 pedals on the board, so I do need to daisy chain some of them. I try to give most of the modulation pedals and such an individual isolated output to avoid possible issues. And then I proceed to wire the patch cables, and this is where the pedal board really shines. It's easy to create nice clean looking patch cable runs, and overall the board will end up looking super clean. And now it's obviously time to plug in the board and make sure it works. Also, let's just check out a few of the sounds you can get with this setup. And obviously, since this is a studio pedal board, I had to write a song with it. Let's check it out next. Thanks for watching my Studio Pedalboard 2021 build video. And if you are interested in any of the pieces of gear mentioned in this video, check out the links below in the description. Those are affiliate links. Using them won't cost you anything extra, but it helps to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, a great way to support the channel is either get my songwriting course, links below to that as well in the description, or you can check out the merch store, or as I mentioned, use the affiliate links. Using those won't cost you anything extra, but it helps to put some food on my family's table. So that would be greatly appreciated. And if you made it until the end of this video and enjoyed the content, but you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and also consider sharing this video with your friends who you think might enjoy this video as well. But I think that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.